Welcome guys. Thank you for joining on this random live. Hopefully everything is working. I'm just going to check if everything is working before I start continue talking. So I'm just going to keep quiet now. Is a yay that it's working, or how do I need to Andrea, welcome. You can hear me and you can see me. That is good to hear. Because I really wasn't sure that was going to work today. I've been messing around again with my tech here. I know I shouldn't do that. So basically what I'm doing now is just a random live while I wanted to make Dirty Blue tonight, and I disconnected my tablet from there, and I can still see you because I found a second-hand, cheap but very very good working portable display. It's like it's only connected through one USB cable, and I can actually show you. So this is my setup now here, and it's like super thin as well. I mean, you know, everything is relative, but relatively thin, just connected through one cable, but I needed to switch cables. So super nerdy tech stuff, and not even like, I don't think real nerds get enthusiastic about this, but I'm really happy with it, since, you know, having my tablet all the time here, you know, it's just I'm using it with my kids as well. So now I'm a little bit more free here, and it's more of a permanent setup. So all trying to look for the cheapest possible ways to fix the issues that I make, because I didn't have an issue. Thank you, a watercolorist. I made my own issue there by making it an issue, but I'm really glad I found a solution for that. Bootleg Sprite out of your T-Mug. Well, cheers to you, Gulchan. Teddy, welcome. Although the display of my iPad is way better than this one. I mean, it works. I only use this for live streaming and watching series now and then. What I used to do on my iPad. But the contrast is just, compared to my iPad, this is a step back. But in terms of freedom and a permanent setup, which, you know, everything is here is a permanent setup, I really like this. So let's get the Dirty Blue. Oh, he knows his cheap sprites. I mean, Freeway is one of those, right? That's the more expensive version, I think, at least here. Good to hear, Teddy. Ah, and this works as well. I did test the cameras though, but if you know the sound was going to work, because none of my microphones is what was found by my computer when I thought I didn't do anything with that, but apparently I did. Ian, that makes sense for most things in life. Or at least a lot of things. It also feels like I have more space now here, which is weird because the display is even bigger than it was before. Good evening, Mr. Pigments, or good morning for you. So as you can see, as you might be able to see, there's loads of chunks of yellow and blue in it. I pre-mix having the right proportions of yellow and blue, yellow ochre and blue ultramarine in a jar before I make it. The difference between this and a pre-mixed pigment that you would buy from a shop is that most of the times you wouldn't see this in a shop. I know of one place that I definitely did see this. But most of the times it is ground up together or first mixed with water, so it becomes a paste and then dehydrated and ground again, or you know any kind of way that makes it visible or makes it invisible. I don't want to say it makes it invisible because you know it's a mix. But it wouldn't make it noticeable that there's chunks of the different colors in there. A pre-mixed pigment like that, a store-bought mix, still needs mulling though. Don't get me wrong, this needs mulling as much as that does. Only here, because of yellow ochre and ultramarine, both of them form little agglomerates of pigment in the jar. It's not a fine powder. There's chunks of it, so there's chunks of it over here in my mix as well, which is just perfectly fine. If there's anything weird with the color or anything, let me know, because I'm not able to check it very well on this screen. I mean, I can see everything. I can read everything. I can see the composition of the screen, so I know what I'm doing. Color-wise, I just could turn on this. Let me have a look if. Let me just turn this on live as well. I have no idea. I put my that's my standard settings. Now I put on a minimum amount of ads. So if you get more ads, I can't change that. I noticed that some people got ads like constantly, where others basically don't. Or not as much. This is my signature mix, Dirty Blue, PB29 with PY43. Because I share the pigments that are in my mixes. I'm transparent like that. Yep. Same yellow ochre as I did, as I used last week for my Egyptian palette. It's just my standard yellow ochre right now, the vintage barrel that I have. Oh, please remind me. I want to say, hey Gulchen, could you please remind me? No, sorry. I want to show you something that I did during lunch today. It was quite a hectic day. But during lunch I did something. I tried some things out. NYX sensors. They were kind enough to extend my subscription for NYX Print Studio for my computer. So the software that I use to show you my the spectral curves, which is a paid subscription, but like I said, they were kind enough to give me another year on them for showing you all this. And I tried something out with it, because I only usually for you during the live stream, I only use it to show you the spectral curve of the thing I just made. And I used the app in way more ways than just that, to compare colors, to compare spectral curves, but also to check if I had like pens or swatches. I didn't really know what they were, to check which color they are. So if I have a kind of a hunch, maybe I don't know if this was golden ochre or this ochre, just you know, since we were talking about ochre, I could just test the swatch against the one that was in my library. But I noticed that the library that I made back then is only on my phone, and I didn't make it. It was my mistake. It was like a private library I couldn't share, so it's literally on my device, and I exported it through as an Excel file a while back to import that data in artistpigments.org, so I could project the data within a hue circle. I will show you that as well if you don't know, if you haven't seen that, or if you forgot I did that once. But I thought, you know, let's import that library into the software that I have on my Mac, and I couldn't find anything. So during lunch, I just took the spectrometer and my swatches, and you know, typed a little bit, couldn't remember some colors, or at least couldn't remember what I named them on my Etsy. So I just put down the pigment number. So if I'm going to show you later on and you just see the pigment number without the name, that's on me. I forgot about that. Sorry. But I made, like, every color group has its own little group of scanned swatches. You don't see the swatch itself, you just see the data, so the numbers for where it is located within a hue circle or within the color space, and the spectral curve. And with that, I can use that as like my something that you use as a base, like as a I forgot the word. It's like tip of my tongue. I don't know. Well, something I can use to compare something else with. So if I made, for instance, I scanned the original PY110 I made and found out that it was contaminated with dust or debris. I don't know what it is. It's very small but very noticeable. At least it wasn't at the top layer of that jar, but it started to get more noticeable the more I made the paint, so it probably was a little bit heavier than the pigment. So I compared the swatch of the paint that I put in my Etsy with the pigment that I acquired a while back, the 10 kilograms of it, bag full of PY110. And it's basically the same. So you can compare it, you can see the differences in the numbers and in the graph as well. So that's I really like that. Another level I can add to my quality tests. In that case, I really need to make sure that I have a swatch that I make the exact same swatches and measure at the exact same spot on the swatch. So for instance, a mask tone, only a mask tone, to measure that and use that as a reference, because when I make a swatch and just a wash, for instance, and I measure that, it will be different. The line will be higher. The curve should be kind of the same, but the line will be higher, so that will be a difference. I'm going to show you that in a few minutes. Why is it saying that the Wi-Fi is gone? That is weird. Well, never mind. Never mind that thing, I think. Or does it want to... That's just annoying. I will just put that down. So I did finish a few of them, but just to show you, just to brag a little bit, because you know, these are the bragging works perfectly when your camera isn't in focus. These are the pens that I made for Dirty Blue for my mixes, and they have the pigment number in them, but I will make sure I can focus. If it should be like here, and then there we go. There we go. So the pigment numbers are in the pen. Yeah, I am for my swatches. So what I'm using right now is all 300 grams from Muller. When I bought it, it was called the collection. I don't know if it's still called the collection. I think it is. So I think my own mix is probably one of the nicer paints to pour. I think it's just a combination between the two pigments that give it a there's not a lot of bubbles. It dries in a perfectly matte kind of way. You can make smooth tops. It doesn't really overflow that much. I don't want to jinx it now. Oh, that's nice, Rick. I didn't see your username before you said that, so I thought like it's been like 2 sunny days. How can you already have a lemon? But that's just here. Different climate. So after I put the pens, I will show to you what it did during my lunch, what it did with the NYX Studio software. I bet it is nice to I'm quite jealous to have fresh lemons all the time. I do like I think I use lemons more. I do like limes better, I think. Once had a discussion about that with someone, and their opinion, not mine, mine also, but then it's bragging again, but their opinion, I make a very good guacamole, their opinion. And I was talking about that, and they said, can't you just make it with lemon? I mean, they're basically saying they taste the same. So I said, they don't taste the same, that's completely different. And they didn't agree with me. So I made a batch of guacamole with lemon. They noticed. Paolo, welcome. Sorry to hear about the earbuds, Gulchen. Did they help you? Were you able to find a solution? It does depend on the rice dish. Yeah. Sentient, welcome. That's weird. Well, you know, that's the thing with most things nowadays. I don't know how old they are, or I'd take good care of the things I have. I take good care of my things, but I ran into some issues with my wireless earbuds as well. But that's, you know, they're a few years old already. And it's not even the battery, it's just like there's a weird crackling noise, and I have like the ear protection volume on and stuff like that, so it's never like too loud. I didn't damage the speakers in it. But are you getting new ones? I kind of missed if you said that. Where's my mouse? Oh, there it is. And I scrolled back. No guacamole for you. That's a shame. I hope they replace them for you. Yeah. I mean, they should. In the European Union, you are protected for those things within your warranty time. Even if there are companies who say there's only 1 year of warranty within the European Union, as a customer, as a consumer, you have the right to get 2 years on everything like that. With at least now, that is with the OS that I have right now with my iPhone, I can put that in with most wireless headphones, like a limit. But within apps as well, within music apps and nah, you don't. Okay, so let's see if the I think we can make this a little bit. Oh no. Let's see if we can get this on the screen. Yes, there we are. Shall I do it? No, I'm blocking the spectral curve. So hopefully this microphone is working as well. As you can see, I made a library of color groups. Miscellaneous is my signature, the mixes and the natural colors. I could have put these in a dirty blue natural tab. The white, for instance, it says 1 in it right now. Yeah, so but this is these are pigments. I know. I could have looked that up. But yeah, this is basically what I did. So with this, you can just easily check the spectral curve over here. But if you want to measure it, I can add something out of my library, like, for instance, something out of the violets, or the yellow. Let's do a yellow. Right, and just check this one, add to the color bar, and we're going out of this. We can see the spectral curve of this one here, but we can connect our device. Calibrated it this afternoon, so it shouldn't be, no, okay. It's red over here in the corner, in the right corner. It's red. Thanks, Paolo. Let's have a look. Where is the bigger swatch? Where's the first swatch that I did? Oh, this is one of them. This isn't a very good swatch. This is kind of washy, I think. But let's have a look. So if I'm going to compare the one that I have right now with the one that I used to have, I'm just going to click measurement, and there you see it's a little bit of a wash, and you can definitely see that in these over here. Let me look if I can find the original swatch. There it is. I think this is going to be closer. Curve-wise, kind of the same. So yeah, it's still a bit. I use a little bit more of a mass tone with my latest swatch, but curve-wise, it is quite similar. Let me just put it like that. So you can see here the lightness of it. My sample, this is my reference, the sample is definitely lighter. Here you can, it's just 1 digit, almost 2. These are the, this is color space. So that's the AB over here. The C is chroma. How chromatic is it? 95 is the most, 100 is the most, 0 least. So this is less chromatic as well because it's wash, paper shines through. And then you have the hue angle here, which is 75. And I'm just going to see if it doesn't really add up with handprint.com, since handprint has, no, I don't want to go there. I was looking for a screen protector for my screen here, since I don't want to have it like, it wasn't expensive, but I don't want to have paint all over it. The hue circle over here, comparing that with 74, 75 hue angle. And here PY110, this is 90, this is 60, so 70 must be kind of here. This is 80 here, 70 here. So it's a little, I mean, if this is 30, this is more like 65 than 75 what Bruce McAvoy had over here. So yeah, I think we can definitely check that. I should have it open somewhere. Now we need to go to the color tools, spectral curves. Spectral curves, do we need to go to the spectral curve by the way? I'm not quite sure if we need to go back to the spectral curves. I don't know if the information is there. Who has this paint? I always go to Schminke because they have like a lot of stuff like it. There we go, and then we have some information, and with the information it says hue angle 72. This is from another angle here, D6572, and this is just C-Lab. This is so maybe mine is it couldn't be a bit cooler, right? Could it? I mean, 72 or what I saw on handprint, that's still you know, I think mine is closer to 72. 74. So yeah, kind of sums up, but that's why I'm going to send my they're on their way. That's why I hope the spectral curves and everything will be added by Thomas as well, Thomas, to the website. So but within this library, and that's what I did find out later, just to, you know, pure orange, for instance, you can look at it in the three-dimensional color space, your entire library of colors here. So just make this color space a little less opaque, and if we look at it from the top, we basically have the same hue circle that we saw just before, with, you know, you see the chroma, lightness, and where it's located in the color space in 3 dimensions. So how light it is, how chromatic it is. I really like this, and this is definitely, since the most chromatic version, it's vibrating. As you can see, if you click it, it's vibrating. Quinacridone gold is right over here. So I should make a Dirty Blue library with all the pigments together. And can I just you know, combine everything? So that is this, which I really like. If we look at the blues, for instance, I do really like the three-dimensional graph of that as well. So this is what I found quite peculiar when I was using this, I thought manganese blue and manganese blue, most chromatic cyan I have. Phthalo cyan is less chromatic. It's actually just, you know, quite a bit away from that, and it's quite close to phthalo turquoise, as you can see, vibrating over here and vibrating over here. Indigo, you know, very much to the middle, which means it's achromatic almost, as well as lapis ash. And it's in the middle, either white or almost black, or gray, a neutral gray, all in the middle. But if you make it a three-dimensional model, you can actually just see the light white lapis ash over here, and the dark indigo over there, and even the darker anthracnone blue over there. But that's a little less in the middle, as you can see. So that's a bit on that, you know, piece of software, and that option that I have, or that I found out about. Paolo, I wish I could cancel all noise at work. I can imagine, Paolo. I do use I have AirPods, and I use the transparency mode of that quite a lot. So I still hear my surroundings, which I like more. I noticed I can feel or hear my own heartbeat when I have a complete noise cancellation on. And I'm on the bicycle, by the way, we're in the Netherlands here. And I'm cycling a bit faster, or I'm not running, but walking with a bit of haste. If I don't have my music on very loud, when I have full noise cancellation on, I hear my own heartbeat, which is super annoying. And also quite confronting, because I noticed that my condition, my condition, how do you say it in English? Stamina? No, I don't know. It's pretty bad since I hurt my shoulder, since I was handicapped because of my shoulder. Yeah. Not working out anymore and things like that has really made an impact. Anyway, total noise cancellation is on the road. It's never like I'm not doing that, but at least not when, you know, you're on the same road as in bicycle lanes where cars will or can drive as well. When you're mountain biking or things like that, still quite dangerous, because, you know, you need to hear someone yelling if you don't see it, for instance. So anyway, the software over there. Oh yeah, what I wanted you to show as well was where is this? There we go. This is what an Excel file exported from the Nix software on my phone a while back gives you. So this is a two-dimensional space with the hue angles. It's not with the angle numbers. This is a different measurement, but I think we can. Yeah, we can do that. There we go. So this is with the I do like this one better. The blue is on the left side. I'm used to that. So yeah, this is, let me just No, we just had this. So what you can do with this, so you put your own data in it, and everyone can do this with, if you have the data, you can do this. So if you have a spectrometer, you don't need to send it to Tomas. You can just within your own private space, you can just upload all your data you have from all the colors that you made a scan of. The nice thing about this, it gives a little like warning sign here, which does say that the gamut of my display, or the gamut of my display can't accurately show the color. So in real life, this would be way more chromatic and something RGB just can't replicate. So that's really nice. The nice thing about having this, this is nice. You know, having this like this looks nice. I can just see where everything is within the hue circle, but you can also compare it. So if you, I don't want to compare it to acrylics. Come on. If you want to compare it to watercolors, let's go to Schmink again. I think of most brands, I trust them most. And we can just check that. It adds the A's, which is the Schmink version. And it's really nice that you can just, see how close their quinacridone magenta PR202 is to my PR122. Their PR122 is a little bit more chromatic, but it is mixed because it says fluorescent behind it, as well as this one, Opera Rose, which is known uses rhodamine in it. You have Yintico of theirs, my Yintico. Sometimes a little bit difficult to get to what you want to see. My Cobalt Violet, for instance, reads the same as almost the same as their Manganese Violet, and my Manganese Violet reads almost the same as well. So they kind of have the same hue angle, but in ways of lightness, it is obviously a difference. What is this? Quite close, PY150 and PY153, so they are very close. Their Turner's Yellow, PY216, is almost the same as my NTP Yellow. Where is their 150 though? I am wondering. Sometimes I have to admit it is a little bit difficult to get, like, to select the right color. But quite pleased with this. My ultramarine is way more chromatic than theirs. So I do like this, whereas their pure ultramarine. This is sometimes their ultramarine finest ultramarine. This is with white, and their French ultramarine. So there's mine. This is manganese blue and phthalo-cyan. As you can see, nothing really comes close when it comes to cyan. My PG50, their PG50, so same hue angle. So I really like the addition. And for me, it's like a very good. It confirms kind of like, okay, I'm on the right track with my brand, I guess. When they read so similar, sometimes so similar, by the way, it's not all of it. My PG7 or their PG7 is a little bit bluer than mine, I think. PG36 is about in the same direction. PO62, and this is their PO6. Yeah, their PO62. This is my PO73. This is their PO64, which I don't have in my collection. So it's I really like seeing this, like having the possibility to compare colors. Let's do an awful thing right now. Let's see what this does. I shouldn't do this. No, exactly. This is why I don't trust them. It's more chromatic. Their blue is like the same grandma, you know, it's possible because mine is as well. They do have a cyan that is closer to. Oh, this is manganese blue hue, which is almost the same as PB17, but manganese blue true is more chromatic. There you go. My PG50, their PG50, so that's the difference. This is my PG36. This is their PG36, and their permanent green, which is PY3 with PG7, which is, you know, basically almost kind of the same. My phthalo green. Where's their phthalo green? That's weird. Well, it's known. It's not. This is one of the exceptions. Of, you know, having mixes that are always less chromatic than the two original paints you used, and it is known that if you mix phthalo green yellow shade with a good lemon yellow, in this case it's PY3, the chroma actually gets higher, so it's an outward curve, which is quite rare for mixes. So you can actually trace the line. Oh, this is my PG7, right? Where's theirs? Does anyone know if they have a PG7? It's not a single pigment. 3 pigments, also gold, to get to the same hue angle as PO62. That's a lot of pigments. So yeah, but this is obviously opera pink with a lot of rhodamine in it, as you can see by the chroma. But this will fade pretty quickly. PV 58. Oh yeah, they're the one having that, which is the same hue as my quinacridone magenta. So yeah, there's that. Yeah, PG 7 was, you know, I did compare PG 7 with mine with Schminke, but this is Daniel Smith. How dare I compare it with them? So yeah, this is what everyone, you know, with the data, with a spectrometer. So with just made myself dirty there. With I don't know what I was doing. Anyone with a spectrometer can do. Not quite sure if it needs to be the spectrometer that NIGS makes, or at least the data that it puts out. Fixed it. What has happened to the Daniel Smith hearing thing? What? Hating. Oh, hating. Oh. Paolo. It's still loads of hate, but it is, in all honesty, no, loads of hate. Hate is a big word. But they are one of the bigger brands out there, right? So I can't deny that. I don't want to deny that either. It's just the truth. And a big brand kind of in our world equals a variety, a larger range of things. Most of the times it equals that. In this case, it is true. But yeah, there's so no PG7 apparently, but or that's not on the database. I'm not sure. I don't know. But I think, and that's why I really want to have my paints in that database as well. Yeah, but yeah, lying apparently is getting a more is getting a normal thing nowadays. I think. Look, turning on the news. No, I'm not turning on the news. I'm not even watching news. Hearing about the news, hearing about the world nowadays. Yeah. But having that data of my paint, all my paints in the database, I think is really going to be quite an addition. So if you want to compare, you know, which brand has the most vibrant, most chromatic version of a single pigment, for instance, you name a pigment, you can just look at that. You can also compare multiple brands, but then it's getting quite chaotic. You can compare single colors as well, I think. Let me just see if I can our color library. I'm not quite sure if what I did. This is what I'm going to share it with you. What I do like here, and this I didn't put schmink in, it just opened with schmink with. If you click our color library, it goes to a random brand, but I'm going back to schminke. Since I'm not in here yet, I'll just go back to there. Line of paint, and let's just say I want to see cobalt turquoise. So you're going to be redirected to the homepage of their cobalt turquoise. You can mix it, so you can say I want to mix it with, and it says Yintico here, mix with a different color. You can get any color you want here. You can choose the brand. You can see the mixing curve of that one. You can, okay, how does it mix with, is this Potter's Pink? Is this, I don't know, what is this? Let's mix it with yellow to show you that it curves outside with those greens and yellows. So that's a curve outside. It gets more chromatic than this yellow and this yellow. So that's awesome. History. Wow. Spectral curves, no spectral curves here. Color inspection, different color spaces you can check. So let's go back to PG50. You can also say compare with, you see where it lays in the color space, Munsell color space, and then you can compare different brands with this one single pigment paint, or even a mix. Sorry, I was reading the chat as well. So I really like that information that you have. If you have all the like data in one database, which Thomas is doing very well, you can actually compare different colors. Or if you have a mix which you really like from a certain brand and they discontinued it, you can find something that is that you can compare it with. I do believe that they have 64 employees. I know that Old Holland has, I think, not even 30 employees. But yeah, it really depends on the brand and how many kind of different brands are housed underneath or under their brand name. So yeah. Production is the big 3-roll mills need to be controlled by a human, but the filling of the tubes isn't the filling of the pans. That's all automatic. Putting the carts with the big trays with pans on it, putting that into a dryer is manual work. Putting labels on it is automatic. But painting labels is manual work, manual labor, for the brands who do that. That is very cool. Able to colorist. That is very awesome. Rick, welcome. By the way, guys, and that's not Rick because you just entered again, but I'm not going to make it too late today. I was actually just planning on making Dirty Blue and checking if everything works. Everything does work here, so that is good to see. Is there anything else? No, I showed you my data in artistpigments.org. I showed you what I did with in the NYX software. I think that is kind of it, like what I wanted to share with you today. But if there's anything you want to know or anything you want to do, I got a pigment I haven't tried making yet. Quite a lot of them. There's quite a lot of pigments I haven't made yet, and mostly because that's a different version of a pigment that I do have and know. I'm going to have a look. Well, there's definitely some of the Russian pigments. I mean, I have, like from Kolibi, I have Shanghai, but I have some Russian pigments with, like, it's literally, I have no idea what it says on the label, apart from the handwritten Shanghai on there. So those are pigments I haven't tried yet. Also because they're in the same bottle as the Colibri pigments, and I expect them to be exactly the same. think it's Russian. Well, that's correct. Let me translate it to English. It was translated to Dutch, and that's not helpful for most of you. So, putting that there, pigment for artistic work, for professional work. Well, now it changes it. It changes the meaning. Pigment for artistic works. Yeah, Shungai. There you go. There's proof of it. But I don't feel making something like that right now. Because when we're going on a journey like that, I want to be surprised. I want to see something unexpected. So if I think unexpected, I might be able to crack open the cupboard over there with the box of unknown pigments. Unknown, unlabeled pigments. Is it possible to make an intentionally streaky paint showing multiple hues like marbling in a pen or tube? Well, marbling is possible. Obviously, if you have multiple wet paints and you squeeze them in a pan and you just go through it with a toothpick or something like and let it dry. But then it will still mix on your wet brush, giving you unexpected effects, which some people like. I bet you can marble things in a tube as well. I mean, there's toothpastes that come out in 4 colors, right? 3 colors, I don't know. So you can do that with paints as well. I bet you can do that. I don't know why you want to do that. But an intentionally streaky paint is something different, I think. Could you define streaky? I'll have a look if I can. I don't know if it's going to be smart to make something unlabeled now as well, because I really am not sure. I'm not sure. I really don't know. Some of them I really don't know what's in them. Guess I can take that box out of there. Let's carefully move this. Oh god, that is heavy. Oh. was a little bit heavier than I expected it to be. Let's take this off, shall we? Is it a heat sensitive label? Yes, it is a heat sensitive label. There we go. Okay, so I can separating granules that leave streak, I guess one could experiment with. Well, you have. What am I doing? Well, I was. There was like all my personal information was on the label of the box. So it was just. It's a heat-sensitive label. So if you go over it with a flame, it turns black and it, you know, erases the letters. Coolchen asked me to look for something I haven't made, and so I'm going to get this box out of the cupboard, which I just did, which is a little bit heavier than I expected it to be. But Rink, try what Royal Talents did with their granulating series of paint. They basically started with having loads of colors and just adding PBK 11 iron oxide black to it to make it separate, which was something. Having a lighter, very easily liftable. No, maybe not easily liftable. At least a lighter pigment with a very heavily granulating pigment. Mix those, or two granulating pigments that are not the complete opposites of each other, but for instance, a very granulating blue with a very granulating green, or a very granulating orange with a granulating red, some things like that. Do they exist? Yeah, kind of. So they're cerium sulfides or Potter's pink in that case. So you will get heavier effects like that. So the box I did just get out of my cupboard was this one. So this is the box. Let me just get rid of that camera because that's going to be covered anyway. What is this box? I showed you before, I think. This is a box with pigments from a pigment collection of a paint manufacturer. This used to be in a very fancy suitcase-like collection. But that wasn't there anymore when I got these, which is fine, because I do care about pigments more than a fancy case around it. I do have a collection of raw pigments in here as well. Interesting, this is, can you see this? Yeah, this is green, there you go. This is green earth in its raw form, raw unpurified form. It looks almost black. So this is one of those things that I have no idea what that is. But this little bit of pigment, you can see it's not a lot of it. This pigment is heavier. It's about the same weight as a jar full of raw yellow ochre. I really want to know if I'm right about this. Let me quickly check it. So the yellow ochre is only 3 grams heavier than this tiny layer of pigment. So you can see it, right? It's like, that is just till there. 3 grams heavier. So I'm not going to make this, because it's probably lead based. As is this. Super heavy lead orange. Oh, this is full. Oh, but this is a super heavy. What is it in English? What says lead? Poisonous. Yeah, so this is heavy as F. How heavy is this? 200 grams. Whereas the one that was heavy just before was 140. This is load mani. What is it in English? What is it in English? Does anyone know? Minium lead. That's it. So yeah, that's giftig. Poisonous. Probably lapis. No, probably ultramarine with white. It's very light. This is very light as well. I did already check that blue. Chromium oxide-ish. Charcoal. Brown earth. Not quite sure what this is, but these are raw parts as well. Not going to try that. If I don't know what it is, it's not heavy. This little bit is heavy and the label is gone, so I have no idea what it is. A very light pigment. This could be cadmium. This, I think it's too old for pyrrole. Also very heavy for a tiny bit, so also lead. I'm going to thoroughly wash my hands after this. Also lead yellow. And then we have an even older batch underneath there. You can see it a little bit, the little black jars over there, the little black lids. It's the bottom layer. This is heavy as well. This is definitely lead. Ruthyl titanium dioxide. That's what I can take out of this. It's in Dutch though, but ruthyl titaandioxide. Can I have them chemically, phthalo, cyanine blue, chemically analyzed? That's going to be too expensive for me to you know, it's I don't need this. Load lead and zinc. No idea what that is. It's a very light yellow, might be a zinc yellow, something like that. Maybe a chrome yellow though, that's a little bit light, heavier. This is lead titanate. So this is where you know where it got interesting. When I first found the box, there were a couple of these things in it, and this looks a lot like ultramarine green. Let's try to make this one. I think this says mica, but then I don't know what it says, and there's no shimmer in it, so I don't trust it. Very heavy one, very heavy blue. I don't know what this is. It's very heavy. Very heavy white as well. I think that's just a pure lead white. Orange chrome orange. The phthalo, where was it? It was somewhere here, right? Yeah, there we go. Phthalo. Let's make it phthalo. Maybe that's better. Put away that weird green. So I can read this as rood, which means red. I have no idea what the other letters are. Yeah, the chrome orange was really nice. I have to give that to you. I have to give that. Whoa, this is heavy. This is like it feels like it's just a solid chunk of lead or something. This is very heavy. I have no idea what this is. It's a weird blue grayish color. It's not neutral gray. Definitely not black. Oh, it's chunky as well. You hear that? China clay. I can read that. Yay. Why didn't they just, write a little bit clearer? IJzeroxide zwart, iron oxide black. That's not how I would write it. Natuurlijk ijzer, natural iron something. It's not oxide, but it's natural. Ribbon black? I have no idea. This is yellow or some kind of lead pigment as well. This is also very, very heavy. This is also very heavy. Probably aluminium lead pigment. Yeah, so I'm going to put this back. We already made our choice there. This is smalt. Actually, I can just show that to you. A piece of smalt that is just cooked cobalt glass before it's ground up into a pigment, which is nice to see. Where's the camera? There you go. Makes me think like the of the Yves Klein sponge I made. First going to wash my hands. Now this is the Yves Klein sponge that I did with the Yves Klein pigment and binder. So we are back again. Yeah, so phthalo blue. What is that sponge? It's I bought the same ultramarine and binder that Yves Klein used to use for his work, and he also made or used sponges as a form of texture in his monochrome paintings. So I took a little natural sponge and made a bit of the paint, put the sponge in that, let it fully absorb and dry, so you know you are left with something similar that you would see on one of his paintings. Well, that was just a fun experiment for me to try. At least it was fun for me. I didn't really use sponges with that, did he? You know what? Since I did wash my hands now, let me first reapply a layer of this. Because I don't know how old this pigment is, but also I don't think older phthalo blues are less staining. So I'm going to make just a little bit of this, which still is a pigment that I that I make and know, but just a different version of it. And I just said I wouldn't do that, or I didn't do that. So this is a good example of you know, why I sometimes just don't make paint out of the pigments that I get. Usually it's F you, Paolo. Usually it's seriously. Oh yeah, usually that happens. So when I get a pigment that I have a different version of, and I'm eventually not making, usually that happens with pigments that I get from a batch from Marketplace or anything from an art studio that, you know, does a clearance or something like that. Like the Russian one, for instance, I got that from for free from someone that I know, and didn't use. You can get a cerulean hue with phthalo blue. I mean, if I can open this, this is this is awkward. No offense, but you all saw how old the bottles were. This is bakelite. And I just put lotion on my hands. Okay, so come on. Yeah, there we go. Phew. Can I also do half of it? Can do a full one. An entire 1/8 of a teaspoon. Look at that. Paolo, you know I can remove people from the chat, right? You just you know, if you are aware of that fact that I can do that. Just wonder. And I always wonder why I actually only drink when I'm with you guys, but I think it's because of you, Paolo. You make me drink. So, are you all conspiring against me here? Just, you know, just a sincere question. I think these jars haven't been opened since the 80s, okay? Just cut me a little bit of slack here, will ya? Bakelite. On old glass like this is like... Where's the jar? I don't want to say hand blown. But do you see that? You see the air bubble in it? It has air bubbles in the glass, right? This isn't like your modern, fancy, modern, smooth glass. This isn't a fancy, cheap plastic lid on it. No. It's at least as old as you are. So it's, you know... Also, I don't want to use tools on the jar. I have used a tool once. I know these can be really stuck. I don't know for what that was. What? I think it was one of those, the ones that I suspected to be possibly kind of an ultramarine green. And I really couldn't open it. And I tried it with hot water. I tried it to pry it a little bit with something like underneath the lid here. And as soon as I put something, I think it was the back of a measuring spoon, something like that. Yeah, that fits exactly. As soon as I tried to just put a little bit of pressure on it, it shattered. I think it was like 5 or 6 pieces. That's a pretty nasty lid for a pickle. I wish like this was a pigment that was discontinued as well. Why isn't there a quinacridone blue for it? Maybe I could have just faked the label and put quinacridone blue on. I know it's not possible. But still, it would be very fun to try to see who believes it. I have a device too that can open jars, right? It's right over here. You just saw me do it. Now it's one of those like, it's not pliers, but those little grip thingies, right? With a rubber ring in it. Oh well, never mind. Manganese orange sounds quite delicious. Sounds exotic. Well, they made a cadmium green with cadmium yellow and zinc green, I think, or what kind of green did they use? So I think you can make cadmium violet, or at least a muddy violet. Would quinacridone blue be possible, really? I do have to say, this is actually quite a lovely version. This is definitely not quinacridone blue green shade, not the quinacridone blue that I have. You know what? You know, the fun thing is I can just check it. Did I say quinacridone blue? That's because of you. Phthalo. I don't know who... Well, if we would have a phthalo yellow and a quinacridone green, we could do loads of things we couldn't do before. It is quite an intense, yeah, but you know, it's not really something new with when it comes to, there you go, there you see the intensity. You would expect that from a phthalo. Pigment. Now all piled up, wow, that was ugly. all piled up. I do kind of start to recognize what I usually see in phthalo blue. Oh yeah, I was just confused, okay, a watercolorist. My apologies. It's not because of this. Swatch time. I don't have any separate, like, I do have a mix of Yintico red with phthalo blue. Let's just swatch next to that, shall we? It is quite intense. Thank you, Gulchan. Oh, this is a green shade. Never mind. Oh, it is a... That's a pretty intense one, though. Let's see how it does with the drying shift. Victoria blue. It rings a bell, but I thought that was Prussian blue. Was it not? At least the bottle of Victoria blue I have. Let's have a look. Antwerp blue. That's not it. But that is something quite special. Prussian blue, old one, no. Not so not maybe here, which I actually doubt it is here. Solvent cyan. That is a mix. This is unlabeled. Interesting. Maya, Prussian as well. Another Prussian. Prussian. What is this? Indigo. Then what is this? PB60. I thought that was violet. Could be. I wouldn't know that, but it does ring a bell. The story rings a bell. So I have proved that a dot pen has been made. It's actually going to be 3 of them, I think. But this will shrink quite a lot. Still managed to get 3 dots out of it. Yeah, I sell Victoria green. I know Victoria, I'm going to look it up in my database to see if there's anything with that name. Dirty Blue Pigments, where are we? There we are. PB15, no Victoria name with the PB15s. Cicoplast, Terrachloro, cyanide, Epsilon, Cyan, Azure, no, but I'm quite sure that there is a bottle in my collection, so I'm going to look at the ones that I have no idea what they are, with a label but without a pigment number. I'm going to look if there is a Victoria there or something of the sorts. Nope. I will find it. I will find it. So there you go. Phthalo blue. Still a little bit wet. Let's let it dry properly so we can test that against the one that I have in my database. But is it the right one? Let's have a look. What phthalo blue green shade? I did use these swatches. Let's see what this swatch looks like. Definitely different than the swatch that I have over here. And I'm going to take the swatches that I have over here. Because I did do these in a little bit more of a master tone. But this is the same, isn't it? Yeah, it is. So it's definitely not the same phthalo blue as this is not, well, this was before that, so I just swatched that underneath it, so don't mind the lettering. This is my phthalo blue 15.3 green shade. This is the one I just swatched, the one that's still on my slab, the one that came out of that vintage jar. Let's see what we can make out of this. So we are going to measure. We're going to remove the patches. Yeah. We're going to add from the library from the Dirty Blue, and then we're going to select phthalo blue, add that to the color bar, close this, open that, put that on the thing over here so you can actually see that I'm doing it, and click to measure. So it says phthalo blue, definitely. There's no doubt about that. It's the same curve, but yeah, it's darker. And this is the master. I've scanned this in the master here. So looking at it, there's quite a lot of difference. There's 15 degrees of difference in thanks for that addition, Rick. There's 15 degrees of difference in the hue angle, which is quite a lot. It's definitely not as light, and it's the chroma isn't as much of a difference. It's mostly the hue angle and the lightness. Yeah, this is interesting. It's nothing like super shocking or anything, but this is a noticeable difference. Usually, I would notice, you would see this difference. For instance, if I would scan it over here, and let's see if I did it right before. Yeah, it's okay. Good. It's higher, right? It's in my wash part, whereas here is in the mask tone. It's a little bit darker than I measured, but it's exactly a little bit apart from this one. It's exactly the same curve. Right. Yeah, but if we use this, no matter where we measure it, this curve is different as well. I mean, the red here is the same, but then this spike is it's weird. Maybe the age of the pigment is absolutely one of the aspects, one of the factors that could be a thing. Although, with the age, but I have no idea how that works with phthalos, to be honest. Yeah, what Paolo says. Also, no, Paolo says something different. What I would want to say, you know, if it was the age, I would suspect it would be less chromatic in a noticeable way. This isn't. This is just a different hue angle. Also, if it was just darker, the reflectance curve would just be lower as it is right now. But right now, the red part is the same line, and the blue from everything from ultraviolet to kind of the yellow, I think, till 590. In nanometers, that's where it's lower. The red is the same. Maybe it's the red shade, not the green shade. Yeah, that could very well be possible. Do I have that? Yes, I have it. I'm actually too tired to take that and make it and test it. But yeah, it's a different PB15. Yeah, that's a good conclusion. For that, obviously, hey, that's you. For that, we can just go to this website and just see and look for 15. There we go. So there's loads of versions of it, but Daniel Smith extra fine watercolors manganese blue hue only has PB15 in it. I don't think so. That's definitely a mix. This is just a mix with filler, which I don't need to put on the label. Same as Holbein. Come on, guys, you're better than that. Here, Holbein, red shade or blue, manganese blue Nova. Let's use a fancy word to mask that. We just put white in it. Azure. Which is slightly granulating, which is weird. But this is all single pigment. This is what you need to trust from labels, guys. So this is an issue with paints. Hi, Creative Colors. Hi, I'm so sorry. Hi, welcome. So I just took a very heavy box out of my cupboard with old pigment bottles. This is one of them, and it says Phthalocyan and blue on it in Dutch. And I made a little bit of it, 3 dots worth of paint. That's what I did, and I compared it in the spectrum. Now I have a dirty hand. Now I am slowly turning into a smurf. Oh no. How those prophecies are coming true. Good thing I put the lotion on. Yeah, but there's too much jet going on, so probably, yeah, Gulchen already explained that. I compared that version that I just made, the very old version, with my version, which I showed before in the stream, that I can actually compare colors visibly now with you, colors from my library. And I looked up PB15 as a single pigment, and we are seeing issues here with loads of brands. There are manganese blue hues, which are labeled as single pigments. This isn't available anymore, but all labeled as single pigments. All very problematically labeled as single pigments. Cerulean blue hue is the same pigment as manganese blue hue. It's the same pigment as manganese blue on a Windsor blue green shade. So yeah, the labeling of pigments is there's an issue with that. That is a very good excuse to be late, but this isn't a regular day for me to go live, so no, to be honest, I didn't know as well, but I changed a bit of tech here in my studio, and I wanted to try that out if everything was working, and going live is just the best way to test that. The nice thing about this website, what I do like, and I'm going to blow the screen up a bit, when it says PB15 here, those little circles in front of it show kind of show the range. Here it's a bit bigger in the corner, kind of show the range of that pigment. So if we go to completely different one, let's say we are for instance, a red earth. So there's obviously there's more versions, but this is kind of there's a large range of colors from this pigment, as you can see here as well. If you have raw earths like this, it's quite unusual to have a PR102 like this, but it's Agaio, so I do trust that it is okay. So there's a large range of, well, hematite genuine. I don't believe that. Okay, so it's not that I don't believe that this color couldn't exist, but just the fact that it's from them. Oh, and there's the hatred again. PR233, for instance, Potter's Pink, lighter and darker hues. So it's nice to see that there's some sort of indication on the website that shows that there's it's a pigment just with differences from just one, but not such a big difference as you see here with that brand and this color. Yeah. I did do last week. Yeah, absolutely right. I think I did two extra lives last week. Yeah, I actually planned going live this morning, but then I ran into some issues with my 3D printer, and I made a mess here, and I thought, my headache. Oh, that was a yawn. That is a yawn. That wasn't a yawn that I could suppress. That's actually it's a sign, I think. yeah, I actually plan going live this morning, but so this is it is quite a noticeable difference. I know that's not the right camera for it. Let's just. But due to the drying shift, it did come a little bit closer. There was more of a difference when it was just a bit on the damp side, I think. Creative Colors, I won't let me stop going live in the mornings because of that. I apologize. But it is good to know that. It is good to know. Thanks for informing me. I'm sorry. So yeah. Gulchen, are you happy with the results? With the random phthalo blue that I just took out of the box. It is strangely drying here. Just saying. That's good to hear. Then I'm going to take the last sip and then I'm going to call it a day. Off to bed. Need to wake up early in the morning again. And today's Saturday, isn't it? Yes, I probably won't be live. So yeah, the thing, you know, with the single pigments, and I think most of you know, and I know, I knew before as well, but seeing this range of colors, you know, on the where is it? There we are. Seeing this range of colors with a single pigment, and I know there's way more pigments like this. PG7 and another phthalo. Does this PB15 and PG7? That's color pencil. I thought that isn't. Wow. I want to have the singles only. Can we have singles only? Come on, I don't want mixes. Damas, if you're watching this, I'm sorry if I do something wrong. No, I want, yes, okay, let's, yeah, okay, take the PB15 out and just show PG7. There we go. Like, this is quite a consistent line. It was my mistake. Until here, wow, okay, so this was quite consistent, right? There are some bluer versions, some darker versions. This is quite dark, to be honest. This is quite diluted, but not, I mean, you get a Viridian kind of hueish thing. Dark, it's a little bit more mossy green, more natural looking. And then you get something very dark, which is called Viridian, but just PG7. But here, it's also PG7. PG7 is the same brand. PG7 number 2. This is not PG7. We know this. Right? You know that PG7 doesn't look like this. Then we have PG7s again, like we are used to them, and then there's no swatches, but still loads of single. Oh, there we are. So swatches, loads of single pigment PG7s, and then we have mixes with PG7s. There we go. So that was my mistake that we saw mixes first. So if you see something like that. I don't know the brand, and there's like I don't want to no hate against the brand or anything. They do have a lot of colors. My, this is a lot of them. So now the cadmium green. This is actually a PG26 cobalt green with a cadmium yellow. PG17. PG no. Also same pigment. This is definitely a PG16, I think. Yeah, so it's the do your own research part. You hear more and more online. Definitely is you know, applies everywhere. That wasn't PB29. Phthalo blue red shade PB29. Ultramarine light PB29. Cobalt blue hue PB29. This is no PB29. This can't be. I mean, this is ultramarine. This is ultramarine. These aren't. I'm very sure. I mean, you agree with me, right? That these are not ultramarine, and these are. Prussian seems correct. This mix seems legit. PB66 is quite dull, but okay. PV3, don't see that very often. I do have a jar of it. Should check that out. Mineral violet PV23. So the naming is also a bit yeah, but I'm not going to I'm not going to do this to another brand, but those things are off, and that's what I noticed in that database as well. That there's also smaller brands or handout pigments, pigment makers. Sentient, see you soon. Have a great day. There's smaller makers. You see it on Etsy, but you know, if you scroll through the pigments there, as I sometimes just do, to just see, okay, what are pigments that I don't have, what are pigments that no one else has, are stable enough, are light fast, and you know, and not a lot of people carry in their paint, so I might be interested in doing that if I can get the pigment. Yeah, I said PB60, you know, fair enough. That's you can expect some a duller version. It was quite grey, but yeah. But there has been mistakes by some people as well. I know there's one. Let me see if I can find that in the. I think it was the blue pigments. And the lower end of the blues, PB14, no, not PB14. Let me have a look. P26. Was it the greens? I think it was the green, which was supposed to be blue. PG15, I think. PG15? Chrome? No, that's not chrome. It's PG16. That's one. Viridian. Further gray. No, I don't know. I came across a paint with a pigment, and I thought that's not supposed to be PG. I thought, but it needed to be PB, and then it made sense. I really thought it was amongst. Oh, here, there, it is here. Chrome green. It says phthalo blue here, and it's labeled as PG15. Oh, sorry. Wow, I'm not even sharing. There we go. So this one. So that's just either a typo from the database or something that's mislabeled. Usually it is mislabeled, as it is also put in like the entire category of greens and near chrome green. But this is phthalo blue. So this could be a mistake from the database or something from the maker. A typo, just basically on the label. Yeah, but also with those mixes, if it's on the label, PB15 and PG7 aren't PB15 and PG7 alone. So with a and that's something I walked into myself as well when I started. I already talked about this a while back, and I think not long ago even. I have a PG7 that looks like that. And I know, yeah, I will let Tomas know. I'll just leave this open. I know that PG7 doesn't look like that now, but when I started and bought my first pigments, first colors, I didn't buy pigments, I bought colors. I saw pretty colors and powder colors that I could make, into paint. When I started like that, I didn't know what phthalo green looked like. So when I bought a PG7 that was deeper, that was like what I saw, what I had in my own palette, I noticed the pigment looked totally different, and it was terrible to work with. It was hydrophobic. It was like, what? This isn't the PG7 that I know. That's just a pigment manufacturer that doesn't share it's mixed with anything. Has a lot of filler, or it's just mixed with a PW 1 or 4 or any kind of white that bulks it up and makes it lighter. So yeah, I know where that would get where it gets from. Yeah. But for a brand that sells that internationally in shops, I think they should put that on the label if it isn't there. I don't know how recent these are. I'm not even going to look anymore. Thank you guys again. I thought, it's planned on going offline a little bit sooner than this, but I just keep on talking. So I'm just going to stop talking right now, and I want to thank everyone for joining again. Thanks for letting me try out this phthalo blue, which was quite interesting. Might do it again some other time, looking at the box of weird pigments, and there's a lot of lead pigments in there. And it's especially palo, the orange, the full one orange, and the very heavy bluish gray jar that really made me think. I might need to try this. Oh, thank you, a watercolorist. I have no idea. I don't see those things, and I don't watch that as well. I mean, there's no point in watching that during my lives. But please do like it if you are here already, but there's only 8 of you left, so if one of you hasn't liked it, I'd appreciate that. Thanks again. Not quite sure. I need to wear my mask and, you know, do gloves and everything, but I can do that during a live. There's no worry doing that during a live. I'll just turn on some music and see what that orange and gray makes. Especially the gray. I mean, the orange I would get, but that bluish gray, I don't know. Thank you everyone again, and I hope everyone has a great rest of the day. See you soon.